Good evening. What's going on, folks? Welcome to another Pro Wrestling Talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, in this video, just wanted to wrap up the New Japan Pro Wrestling Best of Super Juniors 30 tournament as I go over semifinals and the finals. And I'm also going to review AEW Double or Nothing 2023. So we'll go over that card and give my thoughts on how that went down. So, New Japan Pro Wrestling Best of Super Juniors Tournament number 30 is finally in the books. And I have to say, shocking. Really, really shocking. So, I would have never thought. Just for context, the semifinals took place May 26th, and the finals took place May 28th. So, this past Memorial Day weekend. I would not have thought that both runner-ups from Block A and Block B would end up making it to the finals. That's right. Master Wato defeated Speedball Mike Bailey. Speedball, who was the number one seed out of the A block. And Teton ended up defeating El Desperado. El Desperado, number one seed out of the B block. So both runner-ups ended up in the finals of the Best of Super Juniors 30. Wow. Definitely, honestly, part of me is a little bit disappointed. I mean, because once again, El Desperado comes up short. Despite being a finalist in two previous Best of Super Juniors tournament, when I finally feel like he's going to finally redeem himself, loses in the semifinals. Not only that, he tapped out. Crazy. Really, really crazy. And then Master Wato, just with so much momentum that Speedball Mike Bailey had, and Master Wato beats him. Crazy. I mean, I would have honestly thought one of the one seeds from either the A block or the B block would have been in the finals. But both runner-ups. So, the finals came down to Master Wato versus Teton. And you know what? It was a solid match. Very solid match. I will give him that. This was a very solid match. I mean, the match went, 25 minutes? It was a very solid match. I'll give him that. And then sure enough, Master Wato puts away Teton. Resentimente number 2. And one of the competitors that I honestly felt was less likely to win this tournament wins this tournament. Master Wato, ladies and gentlemen, is your Best of Super Junior 30 winner. Wow. I'm shocked. I'm actually pretty shocked. I wouldn't. Honestly, how many of y'all out there, truthfully, How many of y'all out there truthfully had Master Wado winning this tournament? Seriously. Seriously and truthfully. How many of y'all out there had Master Wado picked to win this tournament? I know I didn't. And if you ask me, I don't think anybody did. I don't think anybody did. And it kind of feels like a Cinderella story for him. You know? But yeah, Master Wado wins the Best of Super Juniors 30. Which means he will move on. And it looks like he will challenge Hiromu Takahashi for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship at Dominion. And you know what? I think he's going to end up winning. And I say that because I feel like Hiromu is getting ready to focus on the heavyweight division. I think he's going to bump up and focus on the heavyweight division. But, you know, it's crazy. You know what's really crazy about this? So they can do all this for Master Wado, who was definitely not a favorite to win this tournament, for obvious reasons. So they can do all this, but yet Stardom can't have Waka Tsukiyama win the Cinderella tournament. I don't get it. I really don't get it. They can do all that with Master Wado, but they can't do the same with Waka Tsukiyama. I don't get that. I really don't get that. But whatever. Another Best of Super Juniors tournament in the books. Overall, great tournament. Shocked at who the winner ended up being, Master Wado. But I mean, hey. Looks like they decided they're going to give Master Wado a big push. I'm not feeling too crazy about it, but we'll see what happens. But congratulations to Master Wado. He pulled it off. He pulled it off. Got to give credit where credit's due. But anyway, that concludes my coverage on the Best of Super Juniors tournament. Before we move on to AEW Double or Nothing, here's a quick PSA. As you continue to watch and enjoy Blitzball Champ gaming content here on the U to the Tube, be sure to check out the link in the description for Game Beauty, our sponsor. For an awesome lineup of video game themed makeup and cosmetic products, here is Game Beauty. They offer many different collections such as eyeshadow palettes, elemental pearl highlighters, and even this special Persona 5 Royale limited edition makeup collection. They also have free domestic and international shipping to most countries for orders over $60. And you can use the promo code BlitzballChamp and you get 10% off of your order for any and all purchases. So be sure to check out Game Beauty when you have an opportunity. Now, we shall return back to our regularly scheduled video. Enjoy. AEW Double or Nothing 2023 took place May 28th, this past Sunday, at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Overall, not as great as I hoped for it to be. If I can keep it real with you, not as great as I had hoped for it to be. Anyways, we had 11 matches total. Had one pre-show match, which don't have the graphic for, but let's go ahead and get started. So the pre-show match came down to the Hardys and Hook, so Matt and Jeff and Hook taking on Ethan Page and the Guns, Austin and Colton Gunn. The stipulation is if the Hardys and Hook won this match, Matt Hardy would have ownership of Ethan Page's contract. This match was alright. And for those out there that I've seen that got all bent out of shape, wondering, what's wrong with Jeff Hardy? He needs to retire. He can't even do a twist of fate. Y'all do realize he was selling an ankle injury. You know, they were working on his ankle throughout the match. Y'all do realize that he was selling that, right? That wasn't a botch. He was selling his ankle/foot. That was the whole point. Man, I tell you, some folks just get so bent out of shape. But anyway, the match was all right. If anything, you know, I love the Hardy Boys. It was just good to see them do their thing. And Hook there, honestly, it felt kind of one-sided for obvious reasons. But when it was all said and done, Hook locked in the red rum on Ethan Page, and he submitted. And because the Hardys and Hook have won, therefore, Matt Hardy now owns the contract of Ethan Page. So, pretty decent pre-show match. Nothing too crazy, but I figured with, you know, the Hardys and Hook, you know, which Hook still has yet to lose a match, I figured it was pretty one-sided. And, you know, I figured the Hardys and Hook were going to end up winning. So yeah. That was your one pre-show match, or I guess buy-in, as they would say in AEW. But decent pre-show match. Okay. Now, start to get into our main card. Let's get into our main card. So, first off, they actually opened up with the AEW International Championship Blackjack Battle Royale, where Orange Cassidy will be defending his title. This was a 21-man Battle Royale. So, just to run down the names that were in this Battle Royale, we had Ari Daivari. We had Tony Nese. We had Kip Sabian, Chuck Taylor and Trent Baretta, Kommander, the Butcher and the Blade, Bandido, Lee Moriarty, Big Bill, Keith Lee, the Lucha Brothers, you know, Ray Fenix, Penta El Cero Miedo, Juice Robinson, Jay White, Ricky Starks, Brian Cage, Dustin Rhodes, Orange Cassidy, of course, and Swerve Strickland. So that was everybody that was in this Battle Royale match, this 21-man Battle Royale match. You know, it was pretty chaotic, as it should be. And, you know, they had everybody all in the ring at once. Although some did kind of wait for a while before they got into the ring to do battle. But I'm going to just quickly go over the order of eliminations and what it came down to. So actually, Tony Nese was the first one to be eliminated, which is, of course, thrown over the top rope, feet touching the floor. Ari Daivari then got eliminated. Then Kommander got eliminated. Then Kip Sabian. Then Chuck Taylor. Then The Blade. then the Butcher, then Bandido got eliminated, then Lee Moriarty got eliminated, then Trent Baretta, then Keith Lee, and Ray Fenix, then Juice Robinson, and Jay White, then Ricky Starks, and Brian Cage, and then Dustin Rhodes. So the final 4 came down to Orange Cassidy, Big Bill, Swerve Strickland, and Penta El Cierro Miedo. So after Dustin Rhodes got eliminated, then Penta El Cierro Miedo got eliminated, then Big Bill got eliminated. So the final 2 came down to Swerve and Orange Cassidy. And it was quite back and forth. It was really, really a good sequence. And I thought the finish was actually pretty funny. Swerve hanging onto the rope. And it looked like Orange Cassidy was about to wind up for an orange punch. And he's just like, whatever. He just kicks his hand from the rope and he falls back. So Swerve gets eliminated. And Orange Cassidy, still your AEW International Champion. Wow. Withstanding 20 other competitors to still remain champ. And this makes his 23rd successful defense of this title. Orange Cassidy's on a roll. He's on a roll. And after him walking away with the victory, I gotta keep it real with y'all. I have no idea who's gonna be the one to dethrone Orange Cassidy. I have no clue. I'm stumped. I have no idea who's going to dethrone him. So, yeah. But, very entertaining match. I was just kind of shocked to see that Orange Cassidy walked away with the victory. Was really, really shocked. But, hey, it is what it is. Okay. Let's look at our next match. So next up, we had the Unsanctioned match. We had Chris Jericho versus Adam Cole, baby. And Sabu was the special enforcer. And of course, even Sabu got involved in this match and even took a bump and even went through a table. Did a splash through the table. I was like, wow, dang. Old guy can still do a little something. I was like, holy crap. But it was pretty cool that I got a chance to meet Sabu at WrestleCade last year. That was actually really cool. But I'll say this. This was definitely a back and forth match. Unsanctioned, so, anything goes. No rules, no disqualifications, anything like that. So, definitely went all out. And of course, there was outside interference as well, as expected. But honestly, I gotta keep it real with you. I was not a fan of the finish. I really hated the finish. I hated the finish. And even despite all the interference, of course, Britt Baker and Saraya and all that. Excuse me. Which I knew there would be. But I really hated the finish. I mean, just with the chain, lowered the boom, and just doing the repeated, forearms with the chain to the point where referee Aubrey Edwards had no choice but to stop the match because Jericho wasn't defending himself. And, Jericho was kind of bleeding from, I think he had a cut on his eye. But Aubrey stopped the match because he wasn't defending himself and he was just suffering the ground and pound. But Adam Cole gets the victory. And of course, this is not going to count on the record, being that it's a unsanctioned match. But Adam Cole gets the last laugh. But this also ends up leading to a mixed tag match that will be happening this coming Wednesday as Jericho and Saraya team up to take on Britt Baker and Adam Cole. So that just pretty much opens that door. But, you know, not surprised. But as far as the match, it was okay. It was okay. Okay. Next match. We had the AEW World Tag Team Championships on the line as the champions, FTR, defended against Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, with special guest referee being Mark Briscoe. Now, to be honest with y'all, I wasn't really that much invested in this match because, like I said, I already don't like Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal as a tag team. I like them more as singles wrestlers. And, you know, just... I mean, FTR won, and I'm happy that they won, because it would have been really ridiculous for them to lose the titles like that. But I don't know. It just really wasn't that great of a match, personally. Like, it was hard for me to be super invested in it. You know what I mean? And, you know, it was funny to see, you know, that Sanjay Satnam Singh got kicked out. And, I mean, there are so many close calls where it really did seem like Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal were about to win. And even Mark Briscoe took a guitar shot. But when it was all said and done, he cracked Jeff Jarrett one good time. FTR hits the big rig on Jeff Jarrett. Dax covers for the 1-2-3. FTR still retains the AEW Tag Team Championships. And I'm just really thankful because, like I said, Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, that team needs to split. Or just be singles competitors. But that's just me. Next up, let's see. Oh, yeah. We have the TNT Championship ladder match as the champion, Wardlow, defended against Christian Cage. Now, to be honest with you, this didn't really seem like anything special. Although I will give Wardlow props on doing a, you know, swanton bomb off the top of a ladder through table with Christian Cage on top. I thought that was really cool. Or not with him on top. Luchasaurus. But definitely thought that was a really cool spot. And, you know, aside from that, I was a little disappointed that Christian didn't win. You know, I felt like this was a title that really should have had should have been on a heel right now. But I don't know what they're going to do with Wardlow, to be honest with you. I really have no idea what they're going to do with Wardlow. But that was a pretty... I think the ladder spot with him jumping from the turnbuckle to the ladder and one of the legs getting messed up, I don't think that was supposed to happen. I think that was kind of a ladder botch. But I guess his weight from doing that, from landing on the ladder, one of the ladder legs just kind of bent. So I think it was just a ladder botch. I don't think that was supposed to happen, but it is what it is. I thought it was a very weird spot with the Arn Anderson biting the thumb of Luchasaurus, which, you know, it just seemed like he had a just capsule in his mouth and just, you know, put his thumb in his mouth, made it look like he bit his thumb. It was just, that was a weird spot. That was a really weird spot. For Arn Anderson, that was a really weird spot. That was, yeah, I wasn't feeling that. But Wardlow ends up winning. He grabs the title. He's still your TNT champion. This match was eh. Like I said, the Swanton Bombs spot was cool. Everything else, eh. Nothing really special to me, to be honest with you. But, eh. It is what it is. Okay, next up. We had the AEW Women's World Championship. One second. Sorry about that. The champion, Jamie Hayter, defends against Toni Storm. Now, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. If Jamie Hayter was legit injured, which that was the idea, they shouldn't have had this match. They shouldn't have had this match. Or they could have just written her off with just doing the pre-match attack and just write her off that way. This match was insanely overbooked. Insanely overbooked. What might have seemed like many may feel like should have been a borderline squash just ended up being highly overbooked. I mean, Toni Storm, you know, the Outcast, you know, exploited the arm injury that Jamie Hayter had. But yet, she was still fighting back. She had help from Britt Baker. She had help from Sheeta. She even hit the Haterade on Toni Storm. Yet, still wasn't enough. But then, eventually, Ada Storm Zero pile driver. And even after getting spray painted in the face, she still withstood that. But like I said, after hitting the turnbuckle and then eating a Storm Zero, that was pretty much it. And Toni Storm, I believe, is your first ever two-time AEW Women's World Champion. Isn't that crazy? And you know the sad thing? That match wasn't even 5 minutes long. That match wasn't even 5 minutes. Honestly, it was a match that shouldn't have happened. Or she should have been written off pre-match, backstage, whatever. But this match shouldn't have happened. It really shouldn't have happened. But just like that, Toni Storm is now a two-time AEW Women's World Champion. But whichever. I really wasn't feeling that. Anyway, next up, didn't have a graphic for this, but the House of Black, the current AEW World Trios champions, held an open challenge, open house rules, open challenge, and they put their titles on the line. Who answered the challenge? The Acclaimed. That's right. Anthony Bowens, Max Caster, and Billy Gunn answered the challenge, and they compete against the House of Black. Overall, good match. Definitely a good match that I enjoyed. And, had a good amount of time with both teams. And by the way, the pre-match rap freestyles from Max Caster were excellent. But overall, the match was really, really solid. I know Billy Gunn kind of got involved a little later in the match, but still, overall, great match. But when it was all said and done, Billy Gunn was on a roll, doing his thing, and was doing great until he ate a black mass from Malachi Black. Malachi Black made the cover, 1, 2, 3. And the House of Black retained the AEW World Trios Championships. Great match, though. Great match. But they're on a roll. They're on a roll, and they don't show any signs of weakness or slowing down. So, that's all I can really say. All right. Next up. Oh, man. I really hated this one. The TBS Championship match. Champion Jade Cargill defends against Taya Valkyrie. Pretty much is a rematch. And of course, they both had their special entrances. Jade Cargill did a sorority dance or something like that. I think they said Alpha Kappa Alpha or something like that. I don't remember the name of it, but she did a dance. Had some rapper as part of her entrance. But anyway, both these ladies went at it. Here's what I don't understand. And of course, Layla Gray was there, and Smart Mark Sterling was there. Taya Valkyrie didn't really have anybody in her corner. But this match really wasn't great. It really was not great at all. And what I don't understand, both of these ladies have the exact same finisher. The exact same finisher. Taya hits it the first time. Jade kicks out. But then all of a sudden, Jade hits hers. And she gets the pin. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. Why not have both kick out at least once? And then have one of them do something entirely different to finish the match. I'm sorry, they did the exact same finish. Although one kicked out, the other didn't. Makes no sense to me. Makes no sense to me. I'm sorry, but that makes no sense to me. And then it gets worse. So, after the match, Jade holds an open challenge, and a returning Chris Statlander shows up, answers the challenge, and she beats Jade Cargill in under a minute to become the new TBS champion. Jade's record now sits at 60-1. Now, I know a lot of y'all out there are extremely happy to see Chris Statlander back, as I am, as am I. I am happy to see her back. But come on, y'all. Are y'all really in agreement with how this went down? Don't get me wrong. I wanted the belt off of Jade just as much as y'all do. But come on now. Y'all know the way this went down cheapens Chris Statlander's victory. Y'all know it. I know it. That might as well been equivalent to a Money in the Bank cash-in. Think about it. Really seriously think about it. That was pretty much equivalent to a Money in the Bank cash-in. The match happened after Jay just finished a match with Taya Valkyrie. And then just like that, beaten in less than a minute. Come on, y'all. And that's how you give Chris Statlander her big moment? Come on now. She is so much better than that. Y'all could have given her a build-up. Have her return at Double or Nothing. And start building up the feud. Get Chris Statlander back in the ring. Get her some victories. And heck, have her win at Forbidden Door. It's just next month. But nah, this is how they bring Chris Statlander back. And then she just wins the title. She just pretty much handed the title in under a minute? Nah, I'm sorry, but I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Like, give her a legit moment. I mean, the return was enough, but then to have her just in a match like that, and she just wins the title in under a minute? Nah. That's ridiculous. Like, if that's what it took to end Jade's streak, that's a cheap way of doing it. I'm sorry. And I don't even like Jade Cargill. But that was a cheap way of doing it. Let's keep it real. That was a cheap way of doing it. I'm glad Chris Statlander is back. I've met Chris Statlander. And I too wanted her to be the one to dethrone Jade Cargill. But not like that. Not like that. They cheapened it. Plain and simple as that. They cheapened it. Anyways. Moving on. 1 second. Allergies are kicking in. Bear with me for a moment. Alrighty. We had a fatal four-way. The four of these gentlemen competing with the AEW World Championship on the line. The champion, MJF, defending against Jungle Boy Jack Perry, Darby Allin, and Sammy Guevara. Also want to give a shout out to Sammy Guevara as he made his entrance with Ty Mello, and they had displayed on their, poster signs revealing big news that they are both going to be having a baby. That's right. Ty Mello is pregnant. That's why we haven't seen her back in the ring, y'all. She's pregnant. So congratulations to the two of them. And yeah, thought that was pretty cool that they threw that in there. And even Jungle Boy was clapping and congratulating the two. So I thought that was pretty cool, But anyways, this match was awesome. This match, I would have to say, was probably my favorite match of the whole card. To be honest with you. Yeah, I'd have to say it was my favorite match. All four were showcased really well. I especially loved the spots where Darby Allin did a Scorpion Death Drop, Sammy Guevara hit a Code Breaker, Jungle Boy hit the Kill Switch, MJF hit a Crossroads. That was a really cool segment there. That was really cool. But these four went at it hard, and it was excellent. It was really, really excellent. I thoroughly enjoyed this match from start to finish. And you know what? All four of these competitors did their thing. And it seemed like Darby Allin was in great position to win this, hit a coffin drop, but of course had to pick up MJF and do the headlock takedown pin, which, wasted time. But when it was all said and done, MJF was able to take advantage, place the title onto, I think it was onto Jungle Boy, and then Darby Allin hit a coffin drop but landed on the belt. And then pretty much MJF was able to swoop in and pin Darby Allin with said headlock takedown pin. And the sneaky devil himself, MJF, retains the AEW World Championship. Not surprised. Definitely not surprised. I do feel like MJF's going to hold on to the title for a good long while. I really do. But this was an excellent match. My favorite of the entire card. Hands down. Excellent match. And then, finally, it came down to this Anarchy in the Arena. We had the Elite versus the Blackpool Combat Club. The Elite, made up of Kenny Omega, Hangman Adam Page, and the Young Bucks, going up against the Blackpool Combat Club's Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Bryan Danielson, Wheeler Yuta. Now, I did think it was pretty interesting how Blackpool Combat Club had a live band performing Wild Thing pretty much throughout most of the fight. The fight started out in the crowd. The fight barely went into the ring. I mean, it went all over the place before it really, really got more involved in the ring. But Wild Thing, playing the whole entire time for at least a good, probably like 10 or so minutes of the match, until, of course, the Young Bucks super kicked the vocalist. And then that pretty much ended that. But, man, this was all sorts of crazy. I mean, from the vocalist getting super kicked, from Kenny Omega getting suplexed onto a poker chip of barbed wire. Although, Mox did get slammed onto that as well. While he had while he had Omega in a sleeper. Of course, we saw thumbtacks being used. We even got to witness an exploding super kick. Matt Jackson to Moxley, an exploding super kick. Of all things that could happen, an exploding pyro super kick. That's a first. That's got to be a first. Ever. That's got to be a first. But it was crazy. It was really, really crazy. Don Callis tried to interfere as well. Crazy match. But when it was all said and done, the key turning point, a masked assailant came in, attacked Kenny Omega, pretty much gave like a running knee strike, almost kind of like a shining wizard. And then he revealed himself to be none other than Konosuke Takeshita. Wheeler Yuta ended up cleaning up the scraps, pinning Kenny Omega with the seatbelt clutch, and the Blackpool Combat Club win with a big, big assist from a now turned heel, Konosuke Takeshita. Wow. Wow. What an ending. What an ending. But I think this is how they will eventually set up Kota Ibushi joining the Elite and helping them out. Because I think it is safe to say Takeshita's now with the Blackpool Combat Club. And it all makes sense. I mean, Don Callis had been talking with Takeshita multiple times before, even kind of, you know what I mean? Kind of, they were here. So, this doesn't surprise me too much, but I think this is, this rivalry, this story is going to continue, and I think this is going to eventually open the door for Kota Ibushi to show up and help out the Elite. And that way it'll be even. It'll be 5-on-5. It'll be awesome. It'll be great. But overall, Double or Nothing, I would say last year's Double or Nothing was better. This year's, But yeah, definitely the AEW World Championship Fatal 4-Way. That was my favorite match of the card. Hands down, my favorite. But, well, the only thing we got to look forward to next is Forbidden Door. Forbidden Door in June. And, of course, they kicked off the Owen Hart Cup. So we'll find out who's going to be competing in that eventually. But, yeah, it was an alright pay-per-view. It was an alright. It was an But that concludes this video. Don't forget to check out Game Beauty. And also like, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Let me know what your thoughts are. What did y'all think of the Best of Super Juniors tournament? Were y'all shocked that Master Wato ended up winning it this year? And do you feel that he's going to dethrone Hiromu Takahashi for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship? Also, what did y'all think about AEW Double or Nothing? Did you like the show? Did you like the matches? What were your favorites? What did you hate? How do you feel about the Takeshita heel turn? I want to hear y'all in the comments. But hope y'all enjoyed this video. For another pro wrestling talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. My name is Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed day tomorrow, and I will see y'all in the next video. Take care. Later.